weird. YouTube won't let me make it vertical. I'm kind of stuck with it being yeah, it's really dark now, but I wish I could upload the pictures better. But I'm sorry, people are walking by. I just don't want to get them in the picture. But it's pretty cool actually. Like everybody's out. This is the lake. It's like I'm by the lake again. I know that the last one I never made it public yet. On the last live, I never made it public. The one that's also by my friend's memorial, not far from here. But I'm gonna make it public. I just have to edit out some of the name and some of the other stuff. And once I edit out, I saw a lot of people messaged me and asked me why that live didn't go public. So I'm just pointing out that it will be going public. It's just not public yet. But it's not my desire. I would like it to be public, but out of respect for the family, basically, essentially out of respect for the family, I am going to not make it public yet until I do just the drop of editing. There's got to be a way to turn on the light at the same time. Nope. Turn on the light. Will it? Nope. Turn on the light. I wish it would turn on the light. I can't see nothing. I cannot see nothing. It's fine, actually. I don't care. Anyway, yeah, so you guys can shout out who's there. This is weird. I've never done it like this. But I figure that it's better than not going live. Because I promised I would go live for you guys. So yeah, it's kind of cool. A lot of people hang out here and you can see like the city skyline and stuff. And it's really cool, actually. People come here and they just chill. This is it's off the lake, also further down from my friend's memorial, the one that I always talk about. That it's kind of like why I got into the whole anti-Scientology thing in 2008. I know I've mentioned it 1,000 times, but in case I have new viewers, it's really now. It's been amazing in my opinion, and I've been loving it for sure. But it's really cool that right now everybody's out just like chilling. It's a really cool spot. Mine won't let my flashlight work. I don't know why not, but it's very close by. It's just down the beach from my friend's memorial, and it's just a decent spot to be able to get some really cool, just a cool spot to get live, in my opinion. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And this one I'll just make public. I'm going to be more careful. I know it's very dark right now, but I'm going to be more careful to make sure that you guys can get live. But yeah, it's pretty cool that my buddy's memorial plaque in the tree, you know, it's overlooking and it's by the lake, which is so awesome, you know. And yeah, and here, I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know why the flashlight's not working. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you guys can see it. See the water, the waves. Who's in? Who's in the chat? Who's in the chat? I feel like streets right now with all the dark nighttime. I don't know why they won't let me. YouTube will not let me go horizontal. And it won't let me turn on my flashlight, which usually it does. There's the breakers in the distance. Hang on, let me get out there. In the distance. There's the breakers in the distance where the city is and stuff. But people chill here for like people just out at night making fires. We'll go by. I can interview some of the people that are near here, but yeah, it's an interesting spot, and I love it out here, so it's super awesome. People are like, over there, people are having like a bonfire. Super dope. So who's here, guys? I can't see anything. You're not hearing me well? Is it better? Faris, is it better? I don't know what is going on with YouTube. Tell me if you can hear me better now. Whoever's there, tell me if you can hear me better. I don't know what is going on. Is it windy or you literally can't hear me? Which one? Guys, let me know. Let me know if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me better? Faras, can you hear me better? Faras, can you hear me better? Is it just windy or is it you cannot hear me? Tell me which one, because the windy I probably won't be able to avoid. Wow, these guys are in the lake. It's not the best thing to be doing right now. These dudes are, they're in deep waters. A lot of people come out here to train and stuff. Can you hear me better? Faras, can you hear me? Whoever's in here. No one's in here now. That's gonna talk at least. I love when I see that you guys are here, but then I see that you're here, and then I see that no one talks. And I do want to know if you can hear me better. Again, if it's the wind, I can't avoid that. If it's about not hearing me well, I could try a different way of doing it. Let me know. Yeah, Windy City, exactly. SJ, can you hear me or not? Here, I'm going to do something. I'm going to change it. You're going to tell me if it's better. So listen to me now, and now. Listen to me now. Is this any better? Can you hear me better now? Was I okay before too with the headphones? Or not? I'm going to try one more time. Well, actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do the headphones. I'll just keep it like this. Anyway, so yeah, I'm out here at Lake Michigan, not far from where my buddy's memorial is. Kind of part of the reason I got into Scientology to begin with. I feel like streets though, with the dark, you know. There's part of the city, Chicago. It's beautiful. Those fireworks are just like personal people. It's just like people shooting off fireworks. Let's see if we can get it better. God, the screen is grainy. Everything's no good tonight. It's so weird. I don't know what is going on with YouTube. They both sound the same. Okay, cool. How are you, SJ? I know you from Solomon, right? You're in Solomon's chat, I think, a lot. Solomon, my little buddy, he's a good guy. Solomon was near here with me. He wanted to see every single thing in Chicago, and his parents are awesome, so I was able to take him everywhere. But it was a little colder. It wasn't like, you know, like it wasn't nice like it is now. Today it was like 90 degrees. And look at this, like the waves and everything is just so beautiful. Yeah, Solomon's chat. That's what I thought, SJ. I think you're one of my speakers within the context of no swearing. I think you're on the no swearing team. Such a good kid. Oh, you saw pics of us? Yeah, he's such a good kid, man. He is such a good kid. Yeah, he's awesome. His parents are awesome. He's awesome. Good people. But anyway, SJ, you might not know this, but I'm by the lake, which is not far from a spot where my buddy, who's not with us anymore, has a memorial because well, he had his wishes for, you know, his body after he left this world. And he made that clear before. Swear jar for Solomon. Yes, absolutely. I agree completely. I agree completely. I agree completely. But anyway, so the memorial is not far from here because he was the head lifeguard for Evanston, which is like the edge of Chicago. I'm actually, the beach that I'm at right now is at the edge. It's like the Chicago part. The other one's private. I have to make the last stream public. I didn't make it public yet because I have to blur out the name, the family, out of respect for them. The name was in the chat. It was like straight up, and they were just like, they just asked, and I was like, of course, no problem. It wasn't like a big deal. They didn't really care that much, but you know. But anyway, yeah, this is where my friend, near where my friend has his memorial, and I love it, out in Chicago. And there's the lighthouse. You can see it in the distance. That light that you see flashing, it's like a mile away. There's another one over there. Literally, it's like miles away. It's crazy. Thank you, thank you. Yes, may his memory be blessed. Yes, 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 yes. Adam. Yep. He was part of my community, not religious, but like, you know, like kind of ethnically. I don't know how you would say it, but you know, he was proud of that aspect. He wasn't like a religious person per se. He was very spiritual, and he was an amazing dude. He actually gave me my first job ever as a lifeguard. First job I ever had. Yep, that is the lighthouse. I'm going to take you guys one night to the Lighthouse Beach, the famous one in Evanston. That one is like amazing. It's like one of the coolest things ever. One of the coolest things ever. But yeah. But anyway, guys, I wanted to check in tonight, first of all, because I didn't make the other one public yet. I wanted you guys to know that I am being consistent with the Friday streams. I can't make it public until I edit it. But tonight's is totally fine because any and everybody that I see tonight is, you know, here on their own, you know, adults, you know, whatever. It's different than it was the other night. But, yeah. But anyway, I wanted to come on. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's, you know, going on. Because up until now, I'm a psychologist. So up until now, I have not made any real statement about like all political components of, you know, whatever. I don't care. I'm not part of politics ever. But somebody pointed out to me that I should definitely address it at least because it's become something where, like, you know, what I figured was, after somebody said I should address it, the thing that I figured that can you flash the light over? Oh, you gotta take a picture. I'm sorry. No, can you just flash your light over here? I'm live on YouTube, so my light won't turn on. What? Did you lose something? I just want to make sure I did it. So, like, all the way up till there, right? You don't see nothing, right? What's up? You don't see anything here, right? No. My flashlight won't go on. I'm live on YouTube, so I appreciate it. No, I'm live on YouTube, so my flashlight won't go on. Yeah. All right, good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's like a really nice neighborhood. A lot of cool people. He was helping me with the flashlight. Some of these people, they want to be live. He's actually an interesting guy. I discussed with them, you know how in Scientology you can't have trans, gay, whatever it is. They're very, from what I understand, they're very homophobic. And he's an interesting fellow. He's constantly, ever since I started streaming about Scientology, he is a trans male, great dude, and but he's always like making it a point. He gets frustrated. Funny guy, good guy, really good guy. But part of my program out here in Chicago. I wanted Solomon to meet more people from my program, but the truth is, I don't know if you guys can see the fireworks. People are just shooting right off the beach. It's Chicago, man. No one cares. It's so funny that they're shooting fireworks, man. It's hilarious to me. It's like, what are you doing? I love it. So I'm sure Osa's in here. What's up, Osa? How are you, Osa? How are you? Osa, I have a great video coming out on as soon as I edit it. I got a great video coming out, Osa, so get right. Yeah, fireworks. This is Chicago, SJ. I don't know if you know, but this is like a really nice area, and it's like at the edge of like all the way to Evanston, and yeah, every night, like a lot of this is what I did when I was like in high school, you know, running away, being mischievous. This is where we used to come, and yeah, everybody's always like doing fireworks and all that kind of stuff, all that jazz. It's like, what I always say to people is, Chicago's become so like cool about a lot of stuff. Like when you walk just along the lake, you're like outdoors, right? But you're walking along the lake, and it's like 90% of the time it smells like marijuana. It's like friggin' awesome. I don't do it, but I'm not like, you know, for people who it's good for. It's great. I just think it's funny that the entire beach, which is huge, like those buildings over there are, I would say, about a mile away. Another fireworks. Ooh, more fireworks. That guy's shooting it out of a cup. That's the only thing that I don't think is a good idea. Shooting it out of a cup. Yeah, I run this program with a bunch of kids that are very kids, young adults, but yeah, they're always doing stuff. But in Chicago, they don't care. So, but yeah, I'm really upset actually, guys. I did it. I had a great live on Friday, and I couldn't upload it out of respect for the family. Not yet. I'm gonna upload it as soon as I edit it. But are any of you guys in LA? I'm kind of curious to know about what's going on some level. Somebody pointed out to me that I should address it because I am a psychologist and I do have an understanding of everything that's been going on. Although I don't really like getting involved in politics, but someone mentioned it to me. I don't know if you guys feel like it's something you want to discuss. Bay Area. Oh, my brother is actually in the Bay Area. My brother's a lawyer in the Bay Area. Yeah. My mom is actually there right now. They drove up to Sacramento. Like right this second. They're up in Sacramento right now. They were in the Bay. She flew to the Bay and then on Friday morning, and then she went to Sacramento with my brother. So yeah, I heard it's awesome over there. It's awesome. You're not in LA, but you're still on that coast. That's the best, man. I used to love LA. It's just, I don't know, there's something about LA that became, you know, I'm not as fond of LA as I used to be. That's all I'll say. I'm not like trying to trash it, but I think some things that go on there are just crazy. But yeah, the Bay Area is nice, and I'm a huge Steph Curry fan, so huge Steph Curry. You would love my perspective, SJ. Okay, I really don't know the ages of the people that come into my chat, so I'm not always, well, first let me say hello to you. I do look really tan. I am really tan. I've been out on the beach all day, but it's just weird the way that it's all. Oh, I love that lighthouse over there. They just lit it up right now. 4 lights go up. It also has to do with the flights, the way they come in over the lake. A lot of flights, they choose to come in over the lake because it has to do with That's the whole aviation thing. You're Gen X. Well, I am. I think I just. I think I am literally the last Gen X like month probably that could be Gen X. So we're the same. Yeah, LA and Steph Curry. Yeah. So I mean, my perspective is this. My perspective is that there's obviously some stuff that's going on that's real, like meaning like people can disagree on things, and then there's stuff that's going on where you have personalities. I'm not diagnosing anybody, but you have personalities where things happen. And one of the things I point out to people is you can't hold this against the ex-Scientologists, but their perspective on the world, they openly say how difficult it is for them to relate perfectly from their perspective of the world. And so you have a mix of their perspective. I'll use two examples of people that I do, see, like Aaron and Natalie. So, you can tell their unique perspective, and you can tell how Scientology strips you of your identity, and then you have to build it back up. So I think that there's like this aspect going on right now where everybody's trying to like fit in with their identity in this movement. I'm calling it a movement. I don't really know any other way to refer it as, so we're just going to call it a movement. But that's all I can say regarding that. But what I want to say regarding the whole thing is 100% that it's not about anymore like Scientology. It's getting to the point where it's way deeper than Scientology. So listen, you have diagnostic components, identity, disorders. You have people that just have the symptoms. It's you could think of it in so many different ways. And I think that there's a lot of that going on right now. I think that I really like Serge's perspective when he says certain things. He talks without, I don't think people realize, but a lot of what he talks about has to do with identity. And especially like if you were a kid and you were thrown into this bowl, it becomes difficult. So I think that right now there's a lot of like personalities that are clashing with other personalities, and then there is always like, no matter where you go in the world, you're gonna, let's just say mental health in general is everywhere. I mean, no matter what group you're in, whether it's at work, home, school, whatever, and especially a movement where people are like popping out like how each person has like a different way, like William he has a very specific way of talking the way he needs to when he wants to talk, like, when he wants to yell at them, he yells at them. When he wants to be calm, he's calm. But he's very, he knows who he is. And it's a very complex situation. It is. So, somebody pointed out that I should just, talk about it briefly. And what I want to say is this. You can look at the people, in my opinion, that have just a healthy outlook on life. You can look at every single one of the people that's involved. Everybody's just as important as everybody else. But if you want to understand what's going on, the best thing you do is you look to the person that has a healthy understanding. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Has a healthy understanding of who they are, has a healthy understanding of what they're doing, has a healthy understanding of life. So even if William is out there and he makes it clear that he feels like, let's just say Natalie or whatever is doing it, it's a perspective that's coming from somebody who's experienced life for real, like legit life. And you appreciate Williams. Yeah, I mean, I really do, to be honest. Like, I mean, he's pretty much, yeah, I mean, him. There was a few people in Chicago also that were awesome by me, but William's the main guy to look at right now to understand the situation, because he has a full understanding of things. His mind is not clouded by growing up in a cult. His mind is not clouded by even being a protester. And I think one of the hallmarks of the health that he has when he came out, somebody asked him one day, like 2 months ago or something, somebody asked him, like, so what's your take on blah, blah, blah? The person just like threw it out there. And his response was, there's a reason I don't become part of a group where it's official, because this is what happens. And, you know, I got sent a video that Will did. That's literally what made me want to come back on tonight. So I got sent that video, right? And I'm sure everybody's seen it, or people have, or whatever. And I think that he did a really good job of just, for the most part, talking about the positive components of whatever's going on with Danny's court case and everything like that. And I think he did address, finally, like he actually addressed on some level, well, there's a big party over there. He really did address on some level the clash of personalities and people and all that stuff. He really did. He did a great job, to be honest, of not getting too deeply into it, but definitely addressing it. And I think that he's a great person to look to right now to understand what's going on. So, psychologically, you have to understand, like, people that were in Scientology, let's start with that. So people that were in Scientology, to make it very simple, but we can get into it deeply at different times, but they literally are, either they literally are raised without a, like an individualized identity, or they had an individualized identity and they lost it because Scientology literally took it from them. This is off the lake, guys. This is a cool bar. So, what's up, guys?
What's up, mate?
So, you know, that's where it starts. It all starts there. It all starts with the fact that, it all starts, in my opinion, with the fact that, to begin with, it's so difficult. And it's not like I look at them negatively, I think. When I think about it, I think to myself, like, wow, like, that's powerful that they're even able to, a lot of cop cars out in the distance, but that they're able to stop and recognize certain aspects of you know, of what they've been through. But it also, you have to understand, so why would somebody be anti-Scientology? And I'm not talking about, like, for you know, there are a lot of people that just like the entertainment. But let's say that you're not doing it just for the entertainment. Let's say that you're passionate about, you know, about doing whatever it is that you're doing. You're passionate about it. Sorry, guys, for 1 second. I'm gonna go to pocket mode. So let's say you're passionate about this. Like, how did that happen? How did that occur? What made you passionate to begin with? The power survivors, and so much comes with that. Yes, all respect to them. Yes, I want to make that very clear, because sometimes when I express this from a psychological perspective, people think like, oh, wait, you're judging that? No, never, ever, ever. What I point out is they themselves will tell you that they're not always the best people to say everything that's going on. Like, they always say, like, what do I know? I grew up in a cult. You'll hear people, you know, I forgot who says that. One of them says that. What do I know? I grew up in a cult. And yeah, it's funny, but he's also being serious. There's a very serious component to that. And I think that, you know, I think that it's awesome that he's willing to, you know, actually, you know, address that. I think that what happens is it attracts people that, like, whenever you're passionate about anything, usually it's going to be something that is, like, personal to you on some level. It might not be 100% like, you know, like all your business or whatever, but it's a personal thing. If you get passionately involved in any kind of activism, oh man, I'm dropping everything here. If you're passionate about all or any kind of activism, you're gonna be the question becomes, why are you in it? What brought you to it? And how are you approaching it? So I think that people forget that, okay, so we recognize that the people that were in Scientology, they themselves have a skewed vision on life on some level, and they have to fight against that, and they have to, fight out, and that's awesome that they do it. You have a lot of other people, and you're thinking to yourself, well, this person, let's say, was never a Scientologist, that person was never a Scientologist, but it attracts different types of people. William's there because he's an activist. I'm here, let's say, because of my friend. Some people that are activists, it's because they themselves, on some level, I don't want to diagnose, but on some level they suffer. And it's a painful thing to suffer. And people hate Scientology because of that. And I understand that. And that's what I think is really going on. I think that people in life suffer from other stuff. And of course, it's going to come into the limelight of whatever they're doing. That's just the reality of things. And to me, it's so unsurprising. None of it's surprising to me. Sorry, guys. I just got some water. It's not surprising to me at all. Let's see. Right, the power survivors. Agree. Completely understand where you're coming from. Yeah, good. I'm hoping that I'm expressing myself well. That's my hope. But that is the entire component of everything that I feel regarding Scientology. It is very much how I feel about the whole thing. And so you have different personalities, and a lot of them are also suffering in some way, and that's what makes them passionate, I have siblings that are in various parts of the world. When I say the world, I mean like LGBTQ community, whatever it is. And they become passionate about other stuff because they feel a specific way about something that happened to them, or the way that they're treated, or something like that, so they feel that way. I'll just say that there are people out there right now in LA, and I just get the feeling that they are not, they're in it for the right reasons, but they have their own issues. Like, it's not like, okay, we're going to go do this, and whatever my issues are, no one's going to know. No, your issues are going to come out, as they always do. Whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you do, your personality, you as a human being, it will eventually be transparent if you're there long enough. I always say, if you get to know someone long enough, you end up knowing. There's actually a great song by a brilliant musician about this, and the idea is that it refers to knowing. I know your mistakes and you know mine, right? And the lyrics are based upon a different relationship, whatever, but the idea is they actually can relate to each other, recognizing on some level we know each other, we understand each other, we are, whatever it is with each other, and let's move forward from there instead of, not addressing it. So I think that finally, I don't even know why. I'm not involved enough. I don't know enough about this to tell you why it finally came up now. But it just did. Let's see. It's a good exercise to understand where all the protesters are coming from and maybe learning where my blind spots are. Yes, actually, I agree with that, by the way. When I got involved in this, most recent, let's call it activism, whatever, this little community over here, I really don't even know very much about technology. I don't know. Tonight, I spoke to some other people in LA, and they have the same problem on YouTube. Tonight, it's not letting us go vertical. I'm sorry, horizontal. It's forcing us to do it like a TikTok. I apologize about that. It's not what I wanted. But anyway, my point is that it's going to come out. It will be known who you are. All that stuff eventually, it sees the light of day. And when it does, it's just a matter of where you stand on different aspects of life. And it's just going to be like that. And it's all good. It's I think people shouldn't be so fearful of the fact that it's occurring. I am not going to be one to judge. I personally, that's just me. Hey YG, good Tavach to you, Shavua Tov. So I personally, like this weekend, for example, I'm in like nature for the Jewish Sabbath. I stayed in nature, and YG, if you go back to the beginning of it, you'll see the lake, and there's a little community we got together and we stayed out for Shabbos. But anyway, point is that these personalities are going to pop out, and you'll know who you are. They'll know who you are. Everyone, it'll become more and more transparent. You can't hide who you are from the world forever. So if you're in something long enough, you're going to get to know each other. You're going to see that each person's got their own issues. You're going to see that that's going on. And, I think that people should just recognize it, embrace it, do what they need to do, what's best for them, and move forward. I don't think that trash talking or other things are the way to go. I just don't. I don't even think trash talking about the trash talkers is the way to go. It's kind of transparent that that's not like a good thing. It's like, that's my perspective, is that I don't want to trash others, and I don't want to trash the people that are trashing. I don't want to trash nobody. I want everybody to just be, happy and whatever. But of course, that's not the world we live in. It's just not. The world we live in is a very, it's a judgmental world, to be honest, but more than anything, it's a world where there's a lot of conflict going on right now in humanity. Like, for real. If you think about it, people are talking about it, psychologists and philosophers, people that study it all, they've been talking about it lately. This is a very unique time in the world, and a lot of people are, who they are is coming out. Let me say hi to YG. These headphones are making me crazy. Now as I see them, but it's always hard for me to turn it around. I'm assuming your booba is sleeping, YG. I'm friends with YG's, her daughter. Anyway, I just think that it's important for people to just embrace it instead of denying it, and then just try to live do your thing and just do your thing. Don't worry about everybody else as much. And if it's someone you're close to, if it's someone, there are people in this community that I'm close to. I mean, everybody saw me and Solomon. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but obviously I have I know Solomon and his family. They're all such amazing human beings, and Solomon is such a great kid, and he's doing great things, and I'm sure he's going to himself be amazing at everything he does. But don't talk too loud. Oh, because she's sleeping. Right, got you. Your volume is low. I get you, YG. But yeah, I just think that I'm addressing it because right after the Sabbath, I got some messages from some people in LA, and I just feel like it's really important. But YG, this is right off the lake. It's actually a really cool spot. But on the other end, people camp out right off the lake. This is a huge famous park also in Chicago. It's on the border of Evanston. And YG and SJ, I gotta make my last live public. It's private still because I have to edit it to get certain names out. But the lake is the spot where my friend's memorial stone sits, which, I got into anti-Scientology in 2008 because of this stuff. So I like coming out here anyway. In general, I think it's a good thing to do. But I bring you guys here specifically because every time I'm out by the lake, I think of him and I think of that. Wow, look at that, fireworks. So crazy. Everybody hit one if you want me to go back to the lake. I'll go back. YG, you want to see the lake? Want to see the lake, YG? I can go back to the lake. I rolled all my stuff out, but hey, I thought I lost something. I did not. Who knows where the other things are? But all right, YG, I'm going to take you back to the lake. It's really beautiful right now out there. But and tomorrow there's a huge advisory because the waves are going to be like 8 feet, which for Lake Michigan is way too crazy. They're going to close down most of the beaches. But I was out here for the Sabbath where there's like a spot to camp out and stuff like that. We do it a lot here in the community that I come from, the chill part of the community. I take my program that I run out here all the time. There's guys on the beach right now. They don't want to be part of my live. They're funny. They watch them always after the fact. They're always watching my lives. But yeah, so I just think that people need to recognize that there's going to be different personalities, that there's going to be different things going on, and it's not something you can control, and it's not even something that you should want to control. It should be something that you just accept as a reality, and it's life. And hopefully, people get along better. That's for sure my hope. Like I said, even if there's someone trash talking, I don't want to trash talk them. It's like, even in Chicago, some basic drama came up, it is what it is. I mean, if anyone in Chicago thinks that I was a part of that drama, they're sadly mistaken. And that's the only thing I'll say strongly, that I'm not a part of any of that. I love all people. Yes, there are people in the community in Chicago that helped me tremendously in the beginning and became good friends. There's a lot of streamers in Chicago that I just don't know very well because they're out there on Saturday, and that's like the one day I can't go out. But I'm cool with everybody. I really am. I'm cool with everybody. But there are people in Chicago. I'm not gonna, I don't think they want their name thrown in. But people that I really respect that are basically just not going to be part of the community anymore, and that's what makes me sad. Is like it got to the point where some people are just, they don't want to be involved at all on any level, and so for me that sucks. That's what got me thinking about this. Then after I got the messages, right after the Shabbat, the Jewish Sabbath, I was like, all right, I'm going to go live. And I will make Fridays live. Oh, such a good live too. The people that were on that live, they'll tell you it was a great live. It really was. I have to say for myself. And it's not me. It's not like I did anything. It's just I took you guys to the coolest beach ever. And the sailboats and everything. It's very cool. I'll read the comments in a second. I'm trying to get back to it's actually smooth rolling down here. Sorry. Ooh, I'm bumping into people. I am bumping into people. Sorry. I'm sorry. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
People just come out and chill here. Let me go back. Yes, YG. I keep missing you lately. Watch with her. She's more active. Okay, that's good. Thank God. Your insights are very much appreciated. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're actively protesting in a big city and have gotten to know people that we haven't. Yes, that's a good point, SJ. That's one of the things that people don't realize is that there's, I think Chicago might be, after LA, might be like the number 2 big deal. I think partly it was because they did the big opening, so once they did the big opening it became like a big deal. But yeah, Chicago's been, it's big, and there's so many personalities out here, and they're all awesome. And there's a couple that are out like every day, like Windy City, he's out there every day, and there's a couple that they do streams every day, not necessarily right in front of the building. It's not hard to get to, but it's not in LA. It's not like in LA where everybody comes and it's just like a spot to like chill or whatever. It's not always like that, so it's a little harder to manage. It's not a big deal, but it's just like a little different. Here, I'll walk down all the way. Good. Yeah, you guys agree. Yep. Good. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. YG, you're gonna like the last live too. So will you, SJ. You guys are gonna like the last live. SJ, I actually talk about Gen X in my last life. I was talking about how like I ran away from home as a kid and like literally lived in this little cave, and it's right by the memorial, and so it's kind of cool. But yeah, I was talking about that about how like different it is today with all the kids in my program. I'm not like an old man, but you know, it's pretty cool. You can see the waves moving off the building. I can't really sure. There we go. There's an eagle. There's tons of waves. It's just pitch black, and it won't let me turn on any flashlights. Oh wait, what's this? Oh, I didn't even realize it. Just got it. Okay, you guys can see the water now. It's awesome. People are out there swimming. Makes me a little nervous. But even besides being a doctor that's going to go psych, I'm a paramedic. And my first job was actually off of this lake as a lifeguard. It was my very first job from my buddy who's not with us anymore. It's exactly why I'm so passionate about Scientology, which is why my last live was really cool. But yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, as a psychologist, I can just tell you from a social perspective, especially like I specialized in substance abuse and trauma. And I'll just tell you from the trauma perspective, whenever you have a community and you're bringing together people that are suffering, and generally speaking, the people that are going to be advocating, they are people that have lived like a life where they on some level they suffered. You know, like Nietzsche says, to live is to suffer. To suffer, you know, that famous. You know, so I mean, you know, it's all like some holy rabbis actually have almost identical quotes. Yeah, it is scary, by the way. SJ, I kicked my guys out before I got live. I kicked all the guys in my program. They were shooting fireworks, but I kicked them out of the water. But they're over there. You guys can see it's a campfire. I don't know if you guys can tell. Maybe I'll walk over soon. I told one of them to come get me if they're cool. But yeah, I won't let them in the water anymore. Their phones are waterproof, so they go in there with like I'm just like, no. Nope. No swimming at night. But anyway, I just feel very strongly about the fact that it sucks and it's sad that this is going on. But it's so, from my perspective, there's nothing surprising about it because you become part of a community. The community is based upon helping victims of trauma. That's literally what like the community is based upon, right? Getting rid of this thing that's causing so much devastation in the world. The people involved are going to take it personally because they personally must have experienced something that made them passionate about this. How did they get passionate? Why would somebody be passionate about doing anything? Why? No problem, YG. You know, what age what? Your age of the guys in my program? It's like, you know, I mean, anyone from like 15 to literally, there's an 80-year-old in my program because his daughter's in my program and he became part of the program too. It's kind of crazy. He was like 60 when she was born. Anyway, so all ages. It's so helpful to hear your impression. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I got a message from somebody. I'm not gonna. I might talk about it on the next live because the person didn't just said that they wanted to inform me that they felt strongly. I have such a small following. They said it doesn't matter. It's out there. People will be able to go on. And I was talking about this. It's not like, oh, I predicted it. It's like it was so blatantly obvious to me that of course this type of stuff is going to happen. You get to know each other. You're passionate about it for a reason. You have stuff in your life clearly, and shit goes down, and that's it. It's not like something you can do about it. It's just not. It's just reality, man. It's like not something that you know. Yeah, I mean, it's something that people. It's inevitable. That's the best way to say it. It's all inevitable. It is all inevitable that it was going to come out someday. And my hope is always the same. My hope is always that people start to recognize. See, this is one thing. When people say like, "Oh, we're equal," right? Let's just say, I don't know, just as an example, men and women are equal. Well, what does that mean? If you mean that they have the same right to whatever as men do? Well, I totally agree. Are they the same though? No, they're not the same. Yeah. And I always say, one of my brothers is trans, and like he says it all the time, it's not the same. That's why he feels strongly about the way he feels, and everybody feels. So it's because of Solomon and Shannon. There you go. Shannon is the one that I was talking about that really helped me get started. Yeah, Shannon's doing her own thing now. She just didn't want to be involved if it was going to be a certain way, and I respect her completely based upon, I'm sure you heard that something happened, but it was like some real trauma occurred within this community. Again, like, to me, not unexpected. All the stuff is going to come to light. That's just the way it is. It's life. It's like if people look at this and they're like, oh, this anti-Scientology movement, look at them. They're da-da-da. Yeah, they're da-da-da-da-da because everyone in the world is da-da-da-da-da. If you get to know each other, you begin to really get to know each other's personality, and sometimes it clicks and sometimes it doesn't. And you're going to experience the world in different ways, and that's just reality. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not something that, like, it's almost like somebody made a comment to me about this where it was like, well, how can we get them to, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, what are you talking about? They're going to be whoever they are, and you get to know each other, and then you just need to try to be civil. That's all. I appreciate that, SJ. Yeah, Shannon knows how much I love her, and Shannon, I do. I always tell Shannon I'm proud that she trusts me and that she's a friend. Very, she's awesome. But I just feel that, I was telling Shannon this too. That to me, the whole thing, like everything, is just not. Well, I can't say that. There was a certain trauma that experienced a bunch of people experienced that, which is already public. I'm not getting into it, but I'm also not like. I'm not saying anything that people don't already know. And that's horrible, like what happened. That is absolutely horrific, in my opinion. But again, after speaking to a couple of people, it's just not unexpected, especially if you're literally part of a cult. You're going to find people that are, I always say that when it comes to unhealthy groups, like a cult specifically, you're not only going to attract a certain type of personality, you're going to attract like a lot of unhealthy personalities. Not if you're brought up there as a kid. That's a completely different thing. I always talk about that. The identity disorders that come, there's a big difference between you were brought up with a lack of identity versus they stripped you of your identity. If they stripped you of your identity, that means you actively went in and were participating in this group. If that's the case, there's something about your life that you felt strongly enough about to enter such group. So that includes, by the way, the protesters. Like, why are we passionate about this? I'm passionate about this because of my friend, but I'm passionate about it also from a psychosocial trauma perspective where I know how horrible it is to have anything to do with Scientology. I think they're literally the worst of the worst of the worst. So I feel strongly about it. I've experienced my own. SJ, you can Google. My story is very famous. It's not like, And hopefully you'll come, SJ. Solomon's going to mod for me because he likes aviation. The anniversary of some crazy thing that I experienced in life is July 19th. That weekend I'm speaking 3 separate times. University, the American Museum of Aviation, and by Flight 232 Memorial Park. Those 3 spots I'm going to be speaking at over the weekend. So I'm going to speak Friday once, Sunday possibly twice for sure once, and then Monday again. So hopefully you guys will come. And it is connected to the very reason that I feel strongly about Scientology. It's a lot, for me, it's a lot about the trauma component. For me, personally. Other people might be doing it for other reasons. I love that William straight up says, I am petty. I'm petty as a mother. He's like, when he says it, it's just so awesome. But I'm sure, I was watching Streets before. That's how I found out about it. It was because of Streets. And then I heard about the opening in Chicago, and that's how I found out about the whole thing. But it was actually because I watched Streets was one of the few content that I really enjoyed on YouTube, and I had already a lot of respect for him. And then so he got into it, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, because I was so anti-Scientology already. But he's so straight up about his motives, and I think that is right. It's just so funny when he says that. I'm petty as a motherfucker. Yeah, I am. He's so self-aware, and it's the reason that tonight I decided to say something, is because I feel like if he addressed it, that means it needed to be addressed. I actually thought that it might go unaddressed, because Williams straight up says, I'm not part of a group. So he didn't have to address it. I don't think people realize that him addressing it was actually kind of like a favor to this little community, because he did not have to address it. He could have easily kept going on doing his thing without ever addressing it. He did not need to. It wasn't like a responsibility type thing. You know, I'm the leader and that's not the way he acts. That's not the way he thinks. And I think that the community, if the community is gonna heal on some level with regards to some of this stuff, he is one of the people that's gonna help facilitate that. So I think it's awesome that he finally spoke up about it, but it's also on some level, I'll admit, like, this is not something I predict. Everything else, like, is so predictable in my mind. But him discussing it was not predictable to me. That was like, what? Whoa. Streets is, like, I couldn't believe it, He's actually finally addressing it. That's crazy. Because he could have, due to who he is, and what I'm saying is very positive about who he is, due to who he is, he never needed to say anything about it. He could have literally gone without saying a word, and it would have made perfect sense. But he chose to. Yes, they are, by the way. Yes, they are. Even the petty stuff, very pure. Absolutely. 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 I could not agree any more with you on that one. I'm just looking for some stuff. This stuff is all over the place right now in the lake. Here, it's lighter over here when I'm sorry, my messy, I have a big cart that I'm rolling around. Yeah, 100% of those streets, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good at understanding people, and he's telling about it, and his abundant mentality, yeah. And he does a great job of also pointing out to people, you don't have to be me. Just because I started and acted like this, that, or the other thing, like, I think it's funny to say, like, got him. I think it's funny, but it's not necessary for everybody to be screaming the way he does. He's good at what he does, the way he does it, because that's him. And he's very honest, and he's very appropriate about his, and he is a gentleman. I completely agree with you about that. And he's also, I think, Gen X, right? I'm sure he's Gen X, actually. Pretty sure. But he has a different perspective. I do a lot of jiu-jitsu, yeah. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was a little kid, when I ran away from home. Oh, yeah. You never knew that? Here. This is my, I don't know if you, here, let's see, like this. Let's see if you can. Hang on, I'll show you something. Yeah, I started under, why is it not working now? I started under, okay, now go back to the other side. I started under Carlson Gracie Senior. But there's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Miguel Torres, and you can see it, but it says Bear Jiu-Jitsu. That was my nickname. He is Gen X, yeah. So yeah, I'm part of one of the top schools actually in the country. I've been doing it literally like for more than 20 years, or about 20 years. But there's my Carlson Gracie, and he used to call me also Bear Jiu-Jitsu. But the Schultz brother family friends. Oh, that's awesome. They're dope. They are totally dope. They're awesome. Yeah. We have like 10 gyms that spawned from Carlson Gracie Senior. Literally like 10. But one of the best ones is called New Breed. And my buddies opened that. They are assassins, absolute assassins. I wish I have like I said, SJ, you'll check out my story, but I've had a lot of injuries in my life. I think, thank God, I'm looking, fine. But I do feel blessed. Like, people can't believe it, but then they'll notice scars, like where they had to reattach limbs and crazy stuff. But jiu-jitsu's just been amazing for my body, and yeah, I started jiu-jitsu first when I was overseas, and then when I came back, I couldn't believe it. Carlson Gracie Sr. was in Chicago. I freaked out. I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, I literally trained with the guy that literally made the UFC go from being broke to a multi-billion-dollar company. If you ask Dana White what is the most important fight that the UFC ever had with regards to its current status, he will tell you it's the fight with Stephan Bonnar, may he rest in peace, and Forrest Griffin. That fight is the fight. And Stephan Bonnar is a teammate. I used to call us the bodies. There were like 10 of us. And Carlson used to throw us at him. He would have to go 10 times in a row. Each one of us would be fresh. But yeah, we were the bodies when he had that fight. That was a really famous fight. That was the first Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, that and Miguel Torres is, I think, one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. You know very little about my story. Yeah, my story is crazy. It's just crazy. I appreciate you saying incredible. I like that word. I tell my mom that. And my mom, for the first time ever, is going back with me. It's going to be crazy. Since 1989, she's never gone back with me. And I was by myself, and she's got so much, like, her own survivor's guilt and stuff, and she's going to go back with me this summer. And, yeah, it's crazy. That's going to be really, really, really cool. Starting, like, mid-July, me and my mom are going out there together for about 5 days. She's finally going to take some trauma head on. She's awesome, my mom. Yeah, to the crash site, yes, correct. Yep, we're going to go to Sioux City together. My mom's never gone back with me, ever. 35 years, she's never gone back with me. I figured you were saying site, SJ. It kind of was an assumption, yeah. Yeah, we're going to go back to the crash site. Then the largest aviation museum is there. It's called Mid-American, which is called the American Aviation Museum. It's actually larger than even the museum in Dayton, Ohio, where my mom actually grew up, where the Wright brothers, And then there's a very famous park called Flight 232 Memorial Park. And so I'm going to speak at the university, and it's a small city, but there's a lot of big universities that are right there. It's about like a 45-minute drive from Omaha also. So it's not far from Omaha. But we're going to be there like for a solid 4 or 5 days. It's going to be really cool. And again, it's all dealing with trauma, My mom's got her own way of dealing with her trauma, and I have my own way, Hers is more what people refer to as secondary trauma. But I'm going to actually walk away from the link so you guys can hear me better because it's loud. You're both strong. Thank you. Yeah, fighter spirit. Yep. Absolutely. You gotta be. It still affects me, it affected my life. My entire life was affected by it. And it's not fair to even like my kids. It's a whole thing. But my mom is, I think she suffered more than I did. And I was like growing up in a hospital, getting my limbs reattached and my head stapled closed. And like, they told my mom that I was unalive. Yeah, crazy. But my mom will be really emotional. She's excited to do it. But again, even that to in and of itself is just another example of, people. There's like thousands of people on this Facebook page from the crash. It's like one of the most famous. It is actually officially the most famous plane crash with survivors that like were pronounced dead, literally. We're not talking about like survivors who are like one person got hurt. We're talking about like explosion. Yeah, the but the point is that there's thousands of people that are kind of like addicted. There's my brother trying to call me right now. There's thousands of people that are addicted to just this story, like tens of thousands on Facebook. On this, it's just crazy that they all, the few survivors that are left out of the 300 people on the plane, obviously, so many perished immediately. But out of the few of us that are left, people are always interested in it. And what I notice is they're interested in it, and eventually they express the fact that they've experienced something too, and that's what makes them interested in it. That's why they care. That's really why they care, Being out of the lake is like super, 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 super therapeutic for me. Just walking around barefoot is, I'm sure you guys know what that is, how important that is on a physiological level, but just being in nature, it's healthy. It's good. It helps clear your mind. I feel blessed that Chicago is like that. It's like a city, but then I always say, I swear, like, our waves might not be as big, but our beaches are just as nice, in my opinion, as almost any beaches in America. I used to think California had like the nicest, and yeah, I'll admit that I still think that there's a few beaches in Cali that are like still theoretically the best beaches in the country. But the problem with it is that California's, or at least LA, is falling apart as a city. But anyway, I just thought that I'd address this. I thought that it was important to listen to someone who requested that I discuss this, and I think Streets did a great job of explaining whatever's going on, which I don't fully understand, the court case, whatever. He just explained it, and then he finally just hit it head on, and he didn't trash anybody. He wasn't being disrespectful. He was very respectful about it, and he could have been. Anybody could have taken it a completely different direction, and he did not. He was super straight up about it. So the sand, luxurious, it's amazing. The sand is like, well, this is actually they knocked out part of the rocks, and they made this is actually a boat all the way down. It used to be a boat, and it's now a restaurant and a bar. People come out here, they love it. Really is beautiful, actually. Chicago's so dope. But that live that I did, which I can't wait till it goes public, people are gonna like that live, is in Evanston, where the beaches are even nicer. But they actually have stadium lights here for like when they do fireworks, 4th of July. So many people after dark are on the beaches, so they put that there for the air and water show, and for the 4th of July. It's crazy. 4th of July is coming up already. It's coming up already, and it's always wild in Chicago. I'll be in Evanston. I'm gonna go live from the famous fireworks. I haven't decided yet. I think I'm gonna go to Evanston, which is the first suburb, which is my favorite little area of Chicago. It really is part of Chicago, but it's a suburb. You don't feel like you go across this one street and all of a sudden you don't feel like you're in the city anymore. You feel like you're in a little town. That's what it is. But ultimately it's Chicago. It's like the south side of Chicago is further away from me than Evanston is. Evanston's like a 15-minute drive. I could walk to Evanston. It's like 10 miles from here, whatever. Evanston's beautiful. It's off of Northwestern. Yeah, cool and cozy boat it is. So off of Northwestern, they call it the Dock. That's what they named the bar. But I want to do that, or depending on what people want, if they're interested, I might go to Navy Pier, which is very famous. But people will have to have a desire for me to go to Navy Pier. Mainly, to be honest, because Navy Pier, to take my kids there. But we stopped and we started going to Evanston. Actually, like, I used to go to the lake all the time with their mom. Like, we were together since we were little. She's the best. She really is the best. But we used to come and hang out by the lake like crazy. Literally, I lived in Evanston off the lake. Literally, physically, like, slept outside when I was a kid, running away from home. But I just think that all these personalities came together. People have their reason for being passionate about it. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So that site on Facebook, it's like you go there. To me, it's not abnormal that so many people are kind of addicted to the story. People have a connection on some level, and they feel connected, and they feel blessed that they can interact with the few of us that are left, and they do. And it's interesting to me, and it's fine, and I understand it as best as I can. I don't try to, and they're more than welcome to, ask any questions, and I'm sure you can imagine what that group is like. But it's literally thousands of people. And I mean, how many survivors are still around? It's like not a lot. So yeah, but the families of those that perish and all that stuff, it kills me, man. Absolutely kills me. But I'm excited to go back. I like going back. It's therapeutic. Anyway, point is, why do they come? Why do people care about that? Why do people feel passionate about these things? They do because it's a personal thing for them. There's something personal about it. Whatever it is, everybody's got their own thing, and that's it, and that's fine. I don't see any problem with it. One time I was discussing this, and I was like, so you think you think all these people are just mentally ill? That's why they're part of the plane crash? And I'm like, you are completely misunderstanding what I am saying. You are completely misrepresenting my words. I never said that, ever. I'm not telling other people what their problems are or anything like that whatsoever. All I'm saying is, when you become part of this community, it's because you're passionate about it. A lot of times it's because you experienced some form of trauma or pain. If we're talking about groups that are formed around trauma and pain, there's a reason why you would feel connected to the trauma and pain. Why would you feel connected? Because you have a personal experience that something happened, or something happened to a friend of yours or a family member, and therefore you're a part of that community, and that is fine. And I think that if everybody recognizes that it's okay, and again, on a personal level, if people are not getting along, okay, approach people, try to make a conversation, do the best that you can to make it civil, and that's it. After that, you just try to understand people. I really do. I live my life trying to just understand who people are, why they do what they do, and I kind of that's kind of not, I wouldn't say motto, but it's a very big part of who I am and what I think. In a second, I'm going to keep walking. SJ, if you're still in here, I'm going to you'll see some pretty cool boats actually go by the dock. But it's a beautiful park in Chicago. And this is in the middle. This is the edge of the city. This is very close to downtown. It's a nice neighborhood. It's famous. It's the neighborhood where just west of us is where the Cubs play, Wrigley Field. To me, it seems like a pure fight between good/bad. Yeah. Yep. Nowadays, the struggles aren't as clear. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Yeah, I got that. Yeah. It is clear. That's what I say about Scientology. It's I am the most understanding person that I can be. I'm not putting myself in a category where I'm someone unbelievable. When I say that, I just mean that I'm in a category of people that literally tries to respect everybody and whatever their experiences of the world. I am a religious man, for example, and I have siblings that are not religious, but obviously Judaism is the way it is, and you're still Jewish. That's why it's not really a religion, but that's a whole nother story. But point is, I'm totally cool. Do whatever you want to do. Scientology is absolutely an abusive, and they create trauma, and they strip people of their identity, or they raise you without an identity. There's nothing more dangerous than losing your identity. There's nothing more dangerous to live a healthy life than losing your identity. Nothing more dangerous. I agree, by the way, SJ. I like that too. I really do. In the crazy world that we live in today, where things are not like so clear. The line's not drawn black and white, like you're saying, on stuff that's going on, the different wars that are going on across the world. This is abundantly clear. It's true, and I'll be straight with you. You know what, SJ? You literally just brought up an amazing point, because I think that's why someone like myself enjoys the therapeutic experience that I have by being a part of this little movement. It's because it's so clear. There's no question in my mind that what we're doing is good work. I agree with you completely. Yeah, nuance. Yes. I agree with you, SJ. SJ, you got to start coming to my lives more often. I never try to grow my channel that much, but during the summer, my other channel's going to connect. So this channel will become the only channel, and I have like a few thousand on the other one. They're gonna hop over for when I go to Sioux City. I was just waiting for it to do it. I'm just not great with technology, so it's like it's all under my name though. You can go and look at speeches I've given and stuff like that, but or on Facebook. My Facebook is public. Good. Come more often. Good. That's awesome. Yeah, this is what we talk about in my. This is like I have a very deep like passion for humanity within the context of everybody should have the ability to live the best life that they can. And life is so complicated to begin with. It's like, let's just at least, I love this, the garbage trucks just drive straight up through the park. It's like, these guys are crazy. Let's see if he's making a left or a right. You guys are getting to see some real Chicago. This is so Chicago. We're like on one of the nicest beaches in a garbage truck. What's up, dude? Yo, yo, yo. Oh, I love it. I love it. Look how filthy that freaking garbage truck is. And it's driving on like one of these, it's driving on literally like what's considered like an upper class, like, I love it. So Chicago, by the way. You have no idea. That's a trail too. This is not a road. This is literally cement to get to the restaurant. It's not even, it's like, it's crazy. Over there's a small parking lot. That's it. The cars end where it just went. It just came straight off the beach. They drove literally on the beach. But yeah, it's like you said, there's nuance in. My main thing is that I believe this very strongly. I know that I've experienced this, which is obviously part of why I believe it so strongly. But when you lose a sense of who you are, when you lose a sense of yourself, there's nothing more painful than being lost like that. There's nothing. Listen, I experienced a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, especially physical pain. I remember everything that happened to me. And I don't talk about this much on the channel, but I was in the Middle East with the aftermath of the Second Intifada. And I was born in the Middle East, so you kind of have to, you don't really have a choice of whether or not you're going to be in the army. It's not like it's a whole nother story. But another famous story that you can find on YouTube. I was in a horrific accident over there. Something crazy happened. But, yeah. It just, when that happened, actually, when I was run over by the bus, someone was literally sitting on top of me and couldn't get off of me. They didn't know how to get it off of me without ripping my spine apart. It was just, the whole thing was just crazy. And I just remember sitting there, and that's literally like, as I grew up as a teenager after the plane crash, I had developed a great sense of who I was. And then when I had that next tragedy, I never really dealt with the connection between the two. And then I had a huge, I don't even like referring to it as a midlife crisis, because I kind of respect people with a midlife crisis. What happened with me is more my responsibility of what I just wasn't taking care of myself. And the plane crash hit me really hard when I was not until I was like 30 years old. It's unique, but yeah. Protest San Jose org. I've been out there a couple of times. Hey, what's up, El Sarmiento? El Sarmiento. There's a San Jose org? I didn't know about that. I told my mom, she knows nothing about this, but she's in Sacramento right now. And I was telling my mom, find Scientology. find it. You know, but sorry, hold on. One of the things that I like to say I have to offer is I've really experienced life. I've experienced tremendous wealth, and I am talking like on a financial level, and I've experienced poverty, and I've experienced, you know, the ups and the downs and the trauma and the everything. So, you know, you're probably, yeah, if you're in the Bay Area, you are for sure closer to San Fran. And I have no idea if no one talks about a San Fran. I didn't even know San Jose. There's an org and a mission? Wow. Are they together, or is it like a separate, I'm actually curious about that. Is it a separate thing? Is it two separate offices? Or it's one major one? Two separate offices is crazy to have it over there. San Jose. They're just like you were talking, SJ, like you were saying. I love what you were saying, SJ. I couldn't agree with you more. It's not very often that you can see clearly right and wrong and just know. And this is one of those things where we all just know. There's no question. Doesn't matter what community you come from, where you come from. Hey, like screaming at me, you guys in my program, trying to give them their space. They don't want to be on YouTube. Cool guys, cool kids. They're always out here with me, but they like their space and freedom. They don't always get it. It's one of the reasons that they are part of the program. I'm cool with all the parents, and they get a little bit of the freedom that they strive for, regardless of whether or not we're going to give it. They're going to get it no matter what. Crazy dudes, crazy chicas and dudes. Everybody has a good time. That's for sure. I'm going to the boats, the dock though. That's what I want to go see, is the dock before my phone dies. I hope I have my stuff. Like you were saying, SJ, yeah, I got to make sure I had all my training gear. See, SJ, you want to see something cool? SJ, that is the original Carlson Gracie. That's like kind of funny because it's like sits right where on top of where your athletic cup sits. So he was like that though. He loved that. He loved doing stuff like that, patching stuff up like that. But okay. I didn't even exactly. It's so rare. It's so rare, and it's so great that and we're really helping people. You know, like Street says, and he is correct. It's not necessarily something where you're going to get people out of it, but there's two things that I look at. Number one, making sure no new ones go in. Number two, the ability for people who do come out, whoever they are, however they come out, even if it's not because of us, they have a community to go to. And then they can start developing a sense of themselves and start a life in the real, what I would say is the real world versus fantasy L. Ron Hubbard world, you know? Fantasy land. Freaking goofy, weird. I always say that. People think it's funny when I say it. Scientology, like, it's like, yes, it's bad, but I look at them much more as just like, they're just weirdos. They're so weird. SJ, yeah, the Venom. Oh, because you mean from the UFC, yeah. The Venom. But the funny part is this. The funny part is that he puts it right like where your crotch is. That's where he has it. And on the back is one of my greatest martial artists of all time, in my opinion. Torres MMA. And I got like 1,000 patches up and down my back at Bear Jiu-Jitsu Fight Club, Gracie. And here there's another Bear Jiu-Jitsu. And there's the famous Carlson Gracie. That's his famous one, the two dogs. He's the OG, him and Helio. Well, really, Helio's dad, but either way, if you know the family lineage, it's complicated. But there's Carlos, and there was Helio, and whatever. I'm sure if you know about jiu-jitsu, you know what it is. Yeah, it is awesome. I love jiu-jitsu, man. It literally saved me, man. Like, my doctors thought I'd never be able to use one of my arms, and I have 97% usage, and one of my feet, and I have like, it's kind of getting bad, but you wouldn't notice unless I took off my boot and showed you the scars, but it is getting kind of bad. My leg. I have to always having these procedures, which is another reason I love the water, is because it's so therapeutic. But here's the boats. It's pretty cool. I always want to see if Montrose, there's a certain street called Montrose Avenue. But yeah, here we are by all. You guys will see some pretty dope diddy boats. I'm pretty sure Montrose is the other way. It is a movie. There's two movies. You can watch the movie. It's called 1,000 Heroes and Fearless. There's two movies that were made about in my life. Two separate movies. 6 books, 2 movies, and one of the most famous Broadway plays. Guys, can I ask you a quick question? Is that Montrose? No, Montrose, like when it, under Lakeshore Drive. It's to my right, or it's this way, right? That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I was pretty sure, guys, but I just wanted to make sure, because otherwise I'll be walking around all the way to the city. Find Amy, but can't. Yeah, Amy is the best. Amy is my mod. Amy is my mod. Amy is the bomb. She is the bomb. Amy is the best. It's probably late for her, all the way on the East Coast to, and it's like right after Shabbat, so it's probably not easy for her to jump on. Again, I did this because I got a message that things were addressed, I guess on Friday or Saturday, and people had a discussion about this, and so I didn't want to talk about it. I felt like it was, I wanted to respect other people, especially because there was like a trauma component to one of the stories that happened, and so the other story was more of like, whatever, call it politics, whatever you want. I call it personalities. You know, there's a difference. There's personalities and there's politics. It's not even politics, it's personality. Yeah, 1,000 Heroes, and then Fearless was also made about, Fearless is more of a fantasy. 1,000 Heroes is with Charlton Heston, and that's like the actual story. Fearless was with Jeff Bridges, the dude. He played like basically me as a kid, and he's in a plane crash by himself on the plane, and then he's not scared of anything ever again for the rest of his life. That's like, it's like only like 10% of that story is like the true story. 1,000 Heroes is like, was done in a way where they on purpose put it, was one of the first real movies, like films, that went straight to television. There weren't like, you know, the internet didn't exist yet, but it went straight to television. They didn't want to put it in the movie theater. Just like, where is he? Yeah, Jeff Bridges. I don't know if you guys can see. I'll try to get it better. Yeah, that should be better. There we go. Let's go see if we can show you guys some of the boats. These boats are crazy, man. Some of these boats are freaking insane. This is actually not just a boat dock. It's like one of the nicer boat docks. It's the first at the edge of the city, which once you're in your boat, it's not far from Navy Pier. So quick. It's like a 4 to 5 minute jet ski ride by car, obviously with traffic. It's crazy, but yeah. But yeah, Fearless with Jeff Bridges. It's I wouldn't use the word fantasy, but it's just it's a created story. It's not, you know, yeah, 10% of it is true with the plane crash aspect of it, and then him getting injured also in other stuff that's connected to my story. And then after he's not scared, it's based on it. I one time made a statement that became like a public statement to some lawyers. I was like a little kid, and I said something really. They thought it was profound. I don't think it was that profound. They think that I just experienced such horrific stuff that I had an understanding of things at an age that I shouldn't have had that understanding. But after that, I became only concerned about my family. It's weird the way that the trauma hit me. It wasn't like myself. My mom, like every time she flies, you know, it's so difficult for her. For me, it's not really like, you know. It's actually, look at these fox, by the way, they're fake. They keep them out here to keep the ducks away. It's so funny. Those are actually fake. Yeah, the architecture it's so cool. Yeah, what I went through is crazy, but you know, that's part of life. I'm no more special than any other human being in the world. I hope, if I have experience, I hope to be able to share them. That's just what I try to do. But just for perspective, that little boat that you see is actually a decent sized boat. That's like, what is that, 10 by 5? Right next to like legit yachts. This is crazy. Cute fake foxes, yep. That's to keep, because the ducks take craps on all the boats. They get frustrated. So they put all these fake, like, you know, like people put scarecrows. Same concept, just foxes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the grammar is correct on that. Foxes. Yeah, this is one of the nicer boat slips. See if everybody's all right over here. Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
You had a big party?
Not big, but it was her birthday.
Your birthday?
Her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You guys, you want to say, can I put you, I'm live on YouTube. You want to say hello or?
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Hey, you two.
Hey, you too. It's her
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Everybody's happy birthday to you. See, this is how dope it is. Yeah. I live in a cool neighborhood. I feel
Nice meeting you.
she's all dressed up. Yeah. She looks nice. Look at you. There you go. Beautiful. Very, very, very adorable, guys. You guys are looking awesome.
Thank you.
Happy birthday from one of my OG people. So
One of the
big
OGs.
yes, a big happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
SJ, I gave her a happy birthday from you. The fox is your pets, right? I know. Fox like every time I see them, they just don't seem like menacing, and like you see like what they do though in the wild, and it's crazy. It's so crazy. My friend had a dog that his mom got. Ooh, fireworks. They're always doing stuff. He had so somebody gave him his mom these dogs, and she kept one of them for her son. She passed away very early. When she got them, she was already terminal cancer, very sad. And he grew up without anybody pretty much in his life. And his mom came home one day, and this dog went from being a puppy to a huge, brilliant, I mean, this dog was so smart, it was crazy. And finally we got it tested, because it would come back with birds, and oh my god, that dog was amazing. But we got back, and it was like part fox, or part, I think fox, not part wolf, but like, yeah, like one of its parents were like a fox. That dog was crazy cool. But yeah, they have all these little things at the edges. They have the things, and there's actually a duck there. Here, I wish Chris was on here, right? Little ducky. Hello, duckies. They live under here. It makes the boat people really upset. Too bad. You're in nature. People don't realize how big Lake Michigan is. People don't realize that it's the same size as many seas in the world. The only reason it's not a sea and it's a lake is a very specific thing, and most people don't know the answer to that. What makes something a lake versus a sea or ocean? A sea and ocean have the same categories of what makes something a lake. People usually don't know the answer to that question. But I will tell you that, like right after the Jewish Sabbath, and I saw my messages about what's going on in Scientology, I felt like this is actually like my field. This is something that I could totally address, and I feel strongly about it too. I really hope that, I just hope that people have conversations. That's it. And otherwise, there's nothing you could do. It is what it is, man, you know? It is what it is. And I understand a little bit on some level, people worried about, people being plants, as they were referring to, and stuff like that. But it gets a little like old, it's like who cares even? Like, if you're doing the right thing, it's not like, see, that's another thing that Will said. I like what he says. Like, it's not like whatever we're doing, it's not like a big secret. It's not like people are like in on the secret now. It's like, there's no secret. There's no like, the only thing we do to catch them off guard is show up in Chicago by the Chicago org. We catch them off guard. We love it. We get there and their windows are open and doors are open. The second, there's the duckies. Look at all the duckies. Who's the baby ducky? Somebody will have to tell Chris that I have actual duckies. Oh no, my phone is dying. Guys, my phone literally has less than 5%. Cancel that, and I'm going to go till it dies. I will go till it dies. The Instagram's to tell a different story. I hear you. Instagram foxes. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm happy I came on. I'm happy that we have a good night, guys. I'm happy I came on and had this like small little discussion. I think it's important. When I recharge my phone, I'll come back on if people are still interested. I'm not that far from my home, so I will. If it dies, just know I'm gonna come back, and it might even start right up again. You never know with the way it works. But yeah, it's crazy. These bathrooms are barely used because most people that are here, they have on the boats, they have their own. Hello.
Okay.
They have their own bathrooms, but Chicago put these up. Service sanitation officially for washing your hands doesn't work. Yeah, Chicago. There's some stuff I complain about, but for the most part, like, what a cool city, right? Like, I literally live in the city by Wrigley Field, and it's just a 10-minute walk to where I'm at right now, just to be in nature. I kind of stayed here though for the whole, for Shabbat, the Jewish Sabbath. I stayed in nature. There's a famous rabbi that believes that it's one of the most powerful ways to connect with spirituality is not sitting necessarily in synagogue, rather in a forest or nature or something like that. So your dog's part fox. That is exactly what happened, by the way. My friend was like, oh my God, it was crazy. But it made so much sense once we found out that, because that dog, first of all, it was, they say foxes are wise. And this dog was actually brilliant. Like, we would sit there, we would like smoke, 420 smoke, and the dog would like be sitting there, and it would be like the dog's like talking to us. Like, I can't explain it. Like, it was, the dog like was part of the conversation. Dog's part fox. I like that though. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I can't imagine. The wind was crazy. It ripped that garbage can out. Those are drilled into the ground. Oh, it could be those garbage truck things because they ripped them out and done. And surprise, your dog are fox. It was a surprise, I'll tell you that much.